Yeah.
And then the third point, where's the action, is basically like bringing the viewers into the story in the most immediate way, avoiding setup and jumping close into dramatic as possible.
In media res.
Yeah,
always in media res.
He literally has that word in this.
Of course.
I was avoiding. I wasn't going to say it, but like he has it right there.
In media res. Always. Listen, I start every session 1 I have ever had since. I might have even done it when we ran 4th edition. I don't remember, but no, I did do the Tavern 4th edition. God damn it. Fuck. That shit's like a mind plague. How does everybody come to the same? Why does everyone come to that conclusion? Why? How do we like?
Well, so
there's been a bunch of videos.
A part of me really thinks it is.
What?
Is because if you think about it, right?
Yeah.
The Lord of the Rings really
starts in a tavern.
Doesn't start until they meet Aragorn.
That's true.
Yeah.
Right. It is the most memorable part of the first movie
when they're in
is like meeting in the Prancing Pony and Bree.
Bree, yeah.
And they like, that's a Strider over in the corner. He's like a super badass, but don't talk to him. He's got weird magic.
Yep.
Like,
that's true.
It's just iconic. Like,
and then Aragorn grabs him and is like, you thought this was your story, bitch?
You know what's funny too?
You're like, wait a minute.
One of the more memorable scenes prior to that is Bilbo's birthday. Which is kind of
another party.
Similar party energy. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, no, they even went to the tavern in Hobbiton.
In the Shire?
Yeah. Yeah, in the Shire. Yeah, there was that one scene where Sam, before, like, Sam wanted to talk to the girl, and then Frodo's like, come on, man, go, you do it. And he's like, no, she wouldn't like me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, wasn't that part of Bilbo's birthday? Wasn't it? I don't know.
No. I think that was after.
Maybe. Either way, point being,
remember, years went by when Gandalf left the fucking party.
Point being, yes, yeah, I mean, maybe you're on it. I just think it's really funny that we all come to this weird conclusion that starting at a tavern is somehow a good idea, even though I don't think it actually is. We just all decide to do it for some reason.
I think it's because it's the classic, like, it's easy for players to be in the tavern. Why is it classic,
though? That's what I'm like.
For...
you know what I mean? Like,
because I guess because a lot of, I think it's classic in the D&D sense because that's where people because that's where old adventures used to get set up in the tavern.
Did they
people,
though?
When they a lot of old adventures, it's like you go to the tavern because that was where you got the quest from.
So where does that idea come from?
That's where you rest as well, because they didn't have hotels back in the olden days, apparently. So you had to go to the tavern to rent the room.
Well, but think about it. Like, somebody had to start the Gene seat.
Yeah, I'm assuming it was. Jesus. God damn it. Weird. What a weird phrase to use for that. But yeah, I think it's because
Gene seat is a 40K term.
Yeah, that was a 40K thing I just said. I hate that my brain just... We're gonna pretend like I didn't say that. I'm gonna pretend like I didn't say that. But somebody had to.
It's like that other episode at the very beginning of our tenure where I referenced that other really popular podcast like a dumbass.
Yeah. It's like somebody had to get that train roll. Like, somebody had to. It had to have been a book, right? Because D&D's from the 70s, so it almost certainly was like a book or a comic book where like some sort of story started in a tavern, and that just got the ball rolling. You know what I mean?
Probably the Vance novels.
Well, maybe.
I don't know.
Could be Lord of the Rings, though. It could be Lord of the Rings.
It's not the Dritz novels. Yeah, it could be Lord of the Rings.
Wait, correct me if I'm wrong, right? So, aren't all of the like original D&D adventures always talked about like as a tale in the Yawning Portal, which is a bar?
No.
Isn't that a thing?
No. Well, that was how the premise of the Tales of the Yawning Portal. That was the premise of
that adventure.
Yeah, that adventure, but not all adventures are during telling, like, let me tell you a tale, and then...
I mean, you could contextualize them that way easily, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, you can. But that specifically was for that book, and they're like, we want to revamp a bunch of old adventures.
Yeah. I it's just a funny... because I did it too. I thought I didn't, and then I thought about it. I'm like, no, I totally did start the 4E game in a fucking tavern. That's crazy. It's such a crazy cultural zeitgeist that we are all unable to escape from. Like, It's just seared into our neurons in a way that no one can explain. And like, you will ask the oldest, most wizened grandmaster DMs, and they'll be like, "Yeah, I started in a tavern." Like, God damn it, every fucking time. Like,
I mean, the 3.5 year game was I started in a tavern.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
But I also, because I was literally following the MCDM video.
Well, yeah, I mean,
and he literally was like, "Classic, the tavern."
Right?
And I'm just
yeah.
like, "Yes, Matt Colville."
I mean, there is
whatever you say.
I shit on the starting in the tavern thing a lot. There is a certain degree of usefulness to it in the sense that you can let your players sort of do stuff inconsequentially and sort of act in character, and it's very low stakes, and you can kind of faff about a little bit. It's good for that. I think the reason I have beef with the tavern thing, I guess this is a whole tangent we're going down. The reason I have beef with the tavern starting thing is because the GM usually, the GM doesn't know how to go from we're faffing about in the tavern to, okay, now we're actually adventuring. You know, a lot of GMs have a hard time pushing that ball forward. And I think that's where it becomes tricky. And that's why what I was going to say before I started going on this huge tangent, that's why I basically from that point forward have always started my games in media res. Something's already happening. And Isaiah can attest to this. The game he's in right now started with, okay, you guys are in this prison cell. The guards are bringing each of you into the cell one at a time. A couple of days pass. Mysteriously, the prison cell opens on the third day that you guys have been there, and you hear some weird noises down the hall. Players go down the hall. Hey, look, there's monsters. You know, like in media res. I had a Dungeon World campaign where I was like, cool, players. So you're out on the street. All of the buildings around you are currently on fire, and there's goblins ransacking the village you are in. What do you do?
Neat.
I had my Stars Without Number campaign started with the players. What's the word? Exploring? Yes, exploring a derelict ship, looking for an old artifact filled with a bunch of weird aliens. Yeah. What was some other good ones I had?
Even like in the book, he's like, you know. Think of every single James Bond movies. They start with a car chase, ski chase, you know, shooting, things blowing up.
I'll do you one better.
It works in movies. Like,
I'll do you one better. The most classic, iconic start to a movie, Star Wars Episode 4. You see the cruiser, you see the fucking, not the Death Star, god damn it. Help.
The triangle.
The triangle, help. Isaiah. Star Destroyer. Yeah. Jesus Christ. I swear, guys, I'm a real nerd. I know they're called Star Destroyers. I don't know why I forgot that. I'm
a real nerd.
You see the Rebel cruiser, and then you see the Star Destroyer come in. The next shot we got, oh shit, shit's going down. People are dying. Darth Vader's here, right? Like classic in media res shit. Classic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So instead of like starting with like, you know,
you could instead of starting with
like heavy...
Isaiah, how did I start Star Wars?
How did you start? We touched down on...
Oh, you were sneaking through the jungle to get to the city.
I can't remember what planet we were on, though.
I don't remember what planet, but you were sneaking through the jungle. Well, it was the planet in Solo, I think. I think it was Corellia.
Oh, that's right. We were on...
yeah. I think it was Corellia.
Oh, God. Corellia, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, you were sneaking through the woods, and then you came up to an NPC who immediately threatened to shoot one of you in the face.
Even he's saying like in here, he's like, oh, you know, instead of like describing shit and taking a long like Matt Mercer setting to see, you know, plotting
action,
you can
go,
just started with close combat or something. He even says like after that, if you want, you know, just start them off in combat too. He's like that could work. Where it's like. Yeah, it's like, all right, guys, so you're walking down the street, and all of a sudden, the building next to you explodes, and a fucking Warforged shows up with a gun aimed at you. Roll initiative, and you're like, wait, Matt, I thought we were in downtime, and it's like, nope.
I had a Apocalypse World campaign where the very first scene was the driver character, and I said, hey, you're this is a little cheekier than most people would probably do for D&D, but the driver character, I was like, cool, you're in your car, you're driving across the wasteland, you can see the town you're going back to in the distance, you know it's the town that this other character is running. because one of the characters was a playbook that basically like owned a town or something close to it. As you're driving across, there's 3 other like Mad Max style vehicles on chase. They're pulling guns. They're about to open fire on you. Also, you have a passenger who's a young kid. And I said to the player, "Who's the kid?" And I'll let the player answer. I don't remember exactly who the kid ended up being. But that's one of those things you, again, A, little cheeky for D&D, and B, something you got to be a little more confident DM-wise to be doing, because a lot of GMs would probably stress from that. Yeah, I was like, you're about to get shot at, and there's kids in the car. Who's this kid, and what do you do? You know, like, start with crazy shit. I remember I watched another Apocalypse World campaign that started with a character being held up by the throat with a gun in their face from a different character, and the GM said, "So, what'd you do to piss this guy off?" That was a fun one. Yeah. Listen. It's true. Cool. Starting the crazy. Just get right into it. Bada bing. Where were we?